The Starship Odyssey had traveled through the void of space for decades. Its hull, polished like silver, reflected the distant stars as it approached the planet Lyria. Commander Arik Kane, the only human aboard, stared at the readings on his console. The planet below was vibrant, covered with vast forests and strange purple rivers. From orbit it looked almost untouched. Arik had heard the legends from the old data archives. Lyria was said to be a world ruled entirely by women, a civilization that had survived without a single man for over a century. Humans had almost no contact with it, except for scattered transmissions that hinted at mysterious customs and advanced technology. Arik's mission was simple: make contact, study the civilization, and learn what kept them isolated. As he prepared the landing shuttle, he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. Space missions were always dangerous, but entering a society that had no experience with men made him feel like a stranger walking into an ancient, unknown world. The shuttle pierced through Lyria's atmosphere. Below, massive forests stretched for miles, their trees glowing faintly in the twilight. Strange creatures, unlike anything Arik had seen, darted between the branches. The landing zone was a flat clearing near a river of shimmering blue water. When the shuttle touched down, the hatch hissed open. Arik stepped out, and the air smelled fresh with hints of unknown flowers. The ground was soft beneath his boots, almost like walking on thick moss. Suddenly, a figure appeared on a nearby hill. A young woman with silvery hair and golden eyes watched him. She was tall, her movements fluid and alert. Behind her, more women appeared, forming a circle. Arik quickly realized that the tribe had been expecting him. "I am Arik Kane," he said carefully, raising his hands in greeting. "I come in peace. I mean no harm." The woman tilted her head, studying him. Her eyes seemed to look through him, as if weighing his intentions. Then she spoke in a language that was strangely melodic. Arik hesitated, unsure if his translator would work. Fortunately, the device activated and her words became clear. "You are the first man to set foot here in 113 years. Why have you come?" Arik swallowed. "I'm here to learn about your people, your culture, and your world. We want to understand, not interfere." The women exchanged glances, whispering to each other. Their expressions were cautious but curious. One stepped forward, holding a staff decorated with glowing crystals. "I am Leora," she said. "Our tribe has lived without men for over a century. Your arrival is unexpected. Many of us are not sure how to feel." Arik nodded. He tried to show calm, but he could sense the tension. The tribe had survived alone, and now a man had appeared in their midst. He knew that even small mistakes could trigger fear or anger. Leora led him to a clearing surrounded by enormous trees. There, the tribe had built homes high in the branches, connected by rope bridges that swayed gently in the wind. Below, the ground was filled with gardens, strange fruits, and animals that seemed friendly but alert. As they walked, Leora explained their history. "Our ancestors chose this path after a terrible war with a neighboring world. Men were lost and women had to rebuild everything. For generations we have lived, learned, and thrived without men. Our technology, our knowledge, it all grew because we had no choice but to rely on ourselves." Arik listened, fascinated. The tribe's society was advanced beyond anything he had imagined. They used energy crystals that powered their homes, medicine that could heal almost any wound, and even communication devices that worked without wires. Yet despite their technology, the tribe valued community, trust, and respect above all else. But as they approached the central plaza, Arik felt a shift in the atmosphere. Women surrounded them, their faces wary. Whispers turned into murmurs, and some seemed openly hostile. One stepped forward, her eyes sharp and unblinking. "You are a man," she said simply. "For some, your presence is a threat." Arik raised his hands again. "I understand. I only wish to learn, not to harm. I mean no disrespect." The woman glared for a moment, then gestured toward a large pavilion made of woven branches. "We will watch you there. If you make a mistake, the consequences will be severe. You must earn our trust." Inside the pavilion, Arik met the tribe's council. Each woman was a leader in her own right, skilled in diplomacy, combat, or science. They asked questions about humanity, about why Arik had come, and about his world. Arik answered honestly, sharing stories of Earth, of human struggles, and of their desire to explore and learn from other civilizations. Still, not all were convinced. Some whispered among themselves, clearly debating whether a man could ever be trusted. Arik sensed that he was walking a fine line. One wrong word or action could turn the tribe against him completely. After hours of discussion, Leora finally spoke. "We will allow you to stay for now, but you must understand our rules. You are not a guest in the usual sense. You are an observer. You will live among us, learn our ways, and prove that you respect our society. Fail, and you will be asked to leave, or worse." Arik nodded solemnly. "I will follow your rules." Days passed, and Arik began learning the tribe's ways. He was trained in survival skills, how to move silently through the forests, and how to communicate with the creatures that lived alongside them. He learned about their energy sources, their farming methods, and their unique medicine. Despite the challenges, Arik found moments of awe. The tribe's bond with their world was profound. They didn't just use technology, they harmonized with it. Their rituals were a mixture of science and art, celebrating the life of their planet and the achievements of their ancestors. But tension remained. Some women avoided him, casting cold looks when he passed. Others were curious, asking questions and testing his reactions. Arik realized that his presence alone was a disruption to their centuries-old balance. One night, as he watched the twin moons rise over the forest, Leora joined him. "It is not easy for them," she said quietly. "Some fear what they do not understand. Some fear losing control of the world they built." Arik looked at her. "I understand. I will not force anything. I only want to learn," Leora nodded. "Then perhaps, in time, they will see that you are not a threat." But deep down, Arik knew it would not be easy. Living among a tribe that had survived 113 years without a man was more challenging than any space mission he had faced. Every step required patience, every word measured and every action carefully considered. As he lay in his small cabin that night, listening to the sounds of the forest, Arik felt both awe and apprehension. He had arrived on a world of wonders, but the tribe's trust was fragile. One wrong move could undo everything, and yet he couldn't help but feel a strange excitement. This was not just a mission of exploration, it was a test of humanity itself. Could he, a single man, earn the respect of a civilization that had thrived without men for over a century? The answer was uncertain. But one thing was clear: his journey on Lyria had only just begun. The days passed slowly on Lyria, each one filled with lessons, tests, and careful observation. Arik Kane had begun to understand the tribe's ways, but he also realized that understanding was only part of the challenge. To truly belong, he needed to earn their trust, not just follow rules. Leora continued to guide him. "You must learn to move as we do," she said one morning, gesturing to the forest. "Every step, every breath matters. Your presence affects everything around you." Arik nodded, focusing intently. The forest was alive with sounds and movements. Strange bird-like creatures called sylphs flitted between the glowing trees, and small deer-like animals with translucent fur grazed nearby. The tribe communicated with them in subtle ways, through gestures, tones, and light signals. Arik struggled at first, but slowly he began to sense the rhythms of the forest. One afternoon, while practicing, he accidentally startled a group of sylphs. They scattered in panic, their wings leaving trails of glowing dust. Arik froze, expecting anger from the observing tribe members. Instead, Leora approached him quietly. "You must not act in haste," she said. "Patience and observation are more powerful than speed or strength. If you respect them, they will respect you." Arik repeated the lesson over and over. With each day, he grew more attuned to the land, moving silently through the trees, predicting the paths of the animals, and understanding the tribe's subtle communications. Even so, some members remained skeptical. Arik noticed the glances from Kira, a sharp-eyed woman who had not spoken much to him. Her suspicion was clear. She often watched him from the shadows, testing his reactions. One morning she approached as he was helping repair a damaged bridge in the tree village. "You have skills," she said bluntly, "but skills alone do not earn trust. Actions do." Arik looked at her carefully. "I understand. I am willing to prove myself." Kira nodded slowly. "Then come with me." She led him to a hidden part of the forest where a massive crystal had fallen centuries ago. It pulsed with faint energy, and the area around it was alive with delicate vines and strange insects. "This crystal is sacred," Kira explained. "It is the heart of this forest. If you can help us protect it from the storm coming tonight, you will show us that your intentions are pure." Arik glanced at the dark clouds gathering overhead. A storm on Lyria was no ordinary weather. It could uproot trees, flood rivers, and damage homes high in the canopy. Without hesitation, he began working with Kira and other women from the tribe. They reinforced tree supports, cleared channels for water, and used energy shields powered by crystals to protect the sacred site. As the first rains fell, Arik moved alongside the tribe, following their commands and anticipating the forest's needs. The storm grew fierce, winds lashing through the trees, but together they managed to protect the crystal and the surrounding area. When the storm finally passed, the tribe gathered around. Arik, soaked and exhausted, looked up to see something he hadn't expected. Smiles. Kira stepped forward, her eyes softer now. "You have shown courage, patience, and respect," she said. "You are not like other men who might come here thinking themselves superior. You are learning to be one of us." Leora joined her, placing a hand on Arik's shoulder. "This is only the beginning," she said. "Trust is not given lightly. But today, you have earned a part of ours." Over the following weeks, Arik integrated more fully into the tribe. He assisted in harvesting rare fruits, helped build new homes, and learned the science behind the glowing rivers and bioluminescent plants. He marveled at how the women had mastered every aspect of survival without relying on men for generations. The tribe, in turn, began to see his humanity not just as a man, but as someone capable of understanding humility and teamwork. They tested him in many ways, from solving complex problems to navigating dangerous terrain. But each time Arik proved himself. One day, as he and Leora worked on a new energy conduit that would bring clean water to the upper village, she spoke quietly. "You have changed things," she said. "Not just for us, but for yourself."
Humanity is not about strength alone.
"It is about the mind, the heart, and the willingness to grow." Arik nodded. "I have learned more here than I ever could have imagined. Your society, it is remarkable." "You are learning that humanity can adapt," Leora said. "Even in a world without men for over a century, your kind can find a place if they are willing to listen, observe, and respect." The next challenge came unexpectedly. Scouts reported a threat approaching from the north, an aggressive species of flying predators unfamiliar to the planet. The tribe had defended against similar threats before, but the scale this time was larger than anything they had faced. Arik prepared alongside the warriors. Combining human ingenuity with the tribe's advanced technology, he suggested a strategy, using reflective crystals to confuse the predators, guiding them away from the village while minimizing harm. The women were hesitant but agreed to try it. As the predators descended, the plan unfolded perfectly. Arik coordinated signals, calculated angles, and moved quickly to adjust the defenses. The predators, dazzled by the reflections, changed course and flew away from the village, leaving the tribe unharmed. The council gathered afterward, their expressions proud. Leora spoke first. "Your quick thinking saved lives today, not as a man but as a valued member of our society." Even Kira, once the most skeptical, smiled. "You have proven yourself in ways we could not have imagined. You are part of this world now, Arcane." For the first time since his arrival, Arik felt fully accepted. The tribe that had once viewed him as a potential threat now saw him as a partner, someone who respected their ways and could contribute to their survival. Weeks turned into months. Arik continued learning and teaching, blending human ingenuity with Lyria's advanced systems. Together they improved energy efficiency, cultivated new crops, and even created a communication network that connected the treetop villages more effectively than ever before. Through it all, Arik never forgot the lessons of patience, observation, and respect. The tribe's survival had depended on these principles for generations, and now he carried them forward. One evening, as the twin moons rose again over the forest, Arik stood beside Leora, looking out at the glowing rivers and the village nestled in the trees. "I never imagined I could belong anywhere like this," he said softly. Leora smiled. "Belonging is not about who you are, but what you bring to the world. You have brought understanding, courage, and heart. That is why you are part of us now." Arik felt a deep sense of peace. The journey had been long and uncertain, but he had found a place where humanity, in all its resilience and adaptability, had a role to play, and as the stars twinkled above Lyria, he realized something profound. Even in a world that had thrived without men for 113 years, humanity could still inspire, learn, and grow. The adventure was far from over. But Arik Kane had already made history, not as a conqueror but as a bridge between worlds, a symbol of what it meant for humans to arrive with respect, humility, and hope. Lyria, once wary and distant, had opened its heart, and in doing so, it showed that even in the most unlikely circumstances, humans could thrive, adapt, and become part of something extraordinary.